key to your better future. You. Not your husband, not your wife, not your parole officer, not the judge, not your mother, not your father, not your friends. You is the answer to your better future. And what we teach in here is what you have to change about you.
Succeed one night. Right.
Because everybody wants success in life.
Mm-hmm.
Most people don't know how to get it. See how that works? Because if we had more success in life, you wouldn't be listening to me. Right? Or at least you'll be doing me the favor. So I want you to take that with you today. With this in mind, you know, there's a book that if you go to my website, choosechangefoundation.com, at the bottom of the book, the page, there's 3 books I recommend, and I told you that I'll be teaching from these books. You know, the compound effect, the 5 major pieces to life puzzle, and the 5 levels of leadership. Those books I recommend for a reason. Because there's some things that we need to know and understand in order to overcome it. We have to know these things. There is no other way to change. What is it about us that we have to change? Our mindset. You know, everybody throw up some ideas. You know, we have mindsets that we have to change. Your attitude, right? You know, earlier today when you were speaking, that you were speaking to your parole officer, and I told you, you gotta watch your attitude, man. I mean, she may be, you know, full of it, but hey, she's your parole officer.
Right.
What you gonna do? Right? We have to learn to watch our attitude. Our attitude is like a flat tire. Who remembers that one? If you don't change it, you ain't going nowhere. Right? Simple stuff. Little shift in mindset. So I'll close with this. Where do you start? If you wanted to change your life, where do you start? You started. Start coming to church.
Today.
Start coming to this class. Because you'll learn something. Who's learned something every time you come in here?
I'm a
Yeah.
beginner. I'm new.
That's awesome. Have you learned something?
Yeah.
There you go. Every time you step into this place, you're going to learn something. You're going to learn something. Some things we're going to learn that we didn't want to hear. Is that happened to you? That you've heard things that you don't want to hear in here?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Me too. But see, I remember when I wanted to change my life. Remember, if you want to change your life, I didn't care what it was. Just tell me what to do. I'll do it. See, that's what Chavabella did. That's what he's doing. Because he says, you know, I want to change. I don't want to be a loser. That was a real powerful one for me. See, today people see me in suits. I travel around the world, around the country, sharing my story, telling people how I changed my life. And when I share my story, people have a hard time conceiving it. Because I can't even, you know, my vocabulary isn't that great now. But you should have heard it 20 years ago. I had the prison lingo down packed. People can't even conceive when I go to the prisons, I talk their language, and they're like, man, only a loser drug addict can know that kind of language. Only an ex-convict can know that kind of language. And it just boggles their mind. Right? It boggles their mind. But Clint, this is why I do what I do. I don't have to preach in church in prisons. I don't have to go into prisons. I can go start being in the free world over here with all these churches that with people in suits and stuff. But that's not where I feel comfortable. Here's where I feel comfortable. For men like you, Clint.
Yes, sir.
Because I was where you were at, Clint. Believe it or not. I know you feel like a loser. I know you feel like you can't overcome. I know you feel like you messed up your whole life. But let me tell you something, Clint. You can overcome.
Amen.
You can overcome. And I'm going to help you.
All right. Thank you.
I'm here for men like Chavalia. Like men like this one, man, that just came back in. Because life is a struggle. If it weren't, well, nobody would be here. Life is a struggle. Dealing with your marriage, dealing with your job, dealing with your parole officer, dealing with... I'm making it happen. I'm going to the top. And I'm taking a few with me.
Amen.
Right.
Because it's too crowded on the bottom.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's how I work. I'm telling you, men and women, there's so much things that we can do in life. Every time I go into the prison, I went to the parole office yesterday. You know, I see these men. I remember when I was walking in, and some guy was walking out. He was all cool. Just go like this to me. ¿Se quedan en el viaje? ¿Se quedan en el viaje? I mean, they're like, I don't know where they're at, in La La Land or somewhere. And I go into the parole office and I see all these men. And I tell them, listen, I have a problem, we have issues. I'm going to close with this, I promise. Time is it. By the way, I'm going to pass around the donation bucket. Man, what happened to my money? I got a couple of dollars. This meeting is supported by self-supporting donations. You do not have to donate. Anybody is here, you don't have to. It's just something we do at every meeting, just to help out with the things that we do around here. And there's a lot of things that we do. But I go into the parole officer and probation, parole office and the prison, and I always, especially when the first time I go in there, and I tell the men and women, I tell them, listen, we have a problem in our society. We have a problem in our society. I said, we have issues. I mean, we have child abuse. We have spousal abuse. We have marriage problems. We have orphans. We have disease. We have sickness. We have drug addictions. I said, we already have enough gang members, enough drug addicts, enough losers. We already have enough of those. And I tell them, what we need is men. And all the women said,
Amen.
Amen. We need men, right? A man who will rise up and become the man that we were called to be. And somebody told me, well, what are we called to be? Well, let me tell you. Glad you asked. You're supposed to be a father, a husband, and a leader.
Amen.
That's it. That's it. If you can just strive to do that. I'm striving to do that. This is what we need in our society. Now, you don't have to do it. But I'm challenging men to rise up and be the men that we have been called to be. Somebody told me, well, I'm a man, because I was born with this, and he told me, grab his crotch. I said, no, that makes you a male. Dogs have that. Right? Animals. Because being male is a matter of birth. Being a man is what?
A matter of choice.
A matter of choice. You see how that works? Simple stuff. Little twist in logic. Some heavy duty stuff. I learned it in prison. I'll never forget. Listen to that man. That's exactly what he said. Just something rose up inside of me, man. I want to be a man. And I walked out of prison at the age of 40. 40 years old. 40. Think about that for a minute. And then the last 15 years, and I've been married 28 years, believe it or not. In the last 15 years, I bought a house. I built a solid business. Then now I'm leaving behind to go preach and evangelize and do motivational speaking around the world. I paid off my house. I have a great relationship with my kids. And I think I have a great relationship with my wife. She still calls me babe.
Watch it when they call you babe, huh?
But I'm telling you that I have learned to overcome. And if you keep coming, you keep coming. I'm telling you, you will overcome. Chavalia, you will overcome. You will overcome. Anybody have anything to say here? You know why I know you will overcome, Chavalia? Y'all want me to tell you one little small story? I promise. 3 minutes. Yes?
Yes.
Here's why, Chavalia. And here's why you're going to overcome. Because you're going to stop listening to all those negative voices in you that you've been listening to. You got to stop it. So the story goes that there was 2 little 10-year-olds, right? They were skating in a lake that was frozen. And they were skating, and then one of the, and you know, the family was over there, and you know, but they were skating in the middle of the lake. It was frozen over. And then one of the little boys, the ice cracked and he fell through the ice. And he went in under, and the little boy could see him. He was drowning, his friend, his best friend. He was frantically kind of trying to break the ice, and he couldn't get him, so he ran out and he got this big old log, and he came and just, bam, hit the ice, broke it, saved his friend. By then, you know, the family had come, and they were trying to help him out there. They gave him a, what do you call that? CPR. And there was an old man standing there, and they were talking. They were looking at this little 10-year-old kid, scrawny, skinny little kid, and they were looking at this big log that he had broken the ice with. And they thought to themselves, man, that log's too big for that kid. How did he do that? There's no way he could pick that up. From way over there to over here? There's no way, it's impossible. And one man stepped up and said, I know how he did it. He said, how do you do it? How do you do it? He said, there wasn't anybody there to tell him that he couldn't. Put that in your pipe and smoke. There wasn't anybody there to tell him that he couldn't. You keep coming, Clint?
Yes, sir.
You're not going to hear no negative stuff from here. Not from here.
Right.
Not from here. You're going to be lifted up until you start to believe it. That's where the fake it till you make it comes in. This is how you change habits. You have to continually over, and that's why you hear me say the same thing over and 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 over until you get it. Because what I'm saying is common sense. The problem is not common practice. I didn't just drive up. I know what I'm talking about. So I wish you success. And we'll see you next week. That's all I have. Thank you.